Hi, I'm Ron Caporale for LifeScript.com. We're here in Newport Beach, California, at the site of the Toshiba Classic, one of the favorite stops on the Champions Tour. This is the 20th anniversary of the Toshiba Classic tournament, and the tournament has raised almost $20 million since its inception for the Hoag Hospital Foundation here in Newport Beach. It's a fun event, always a star-studded field, this year including such fan favorites as Freddie Couples and defending champion David Frost. One of the highlights of the week, and it really is a week-long event, is the Women's Business Day, and that's today. The Women's Business Day is put on by the tournament and honors the female business leaders in Southern California. One of the highlights of that program is a clinic put on by Amy Alcott, an LPGA legend, winner of some 33 professional tournaments in her career, including 5 majors. We sat down with Amy Alcott a little earlier today and talked to her about her career, her life on the LPGA Tour, and what she's been up to lately. Take a look. Amy, you've had a storied career in the game of golf. 33 worldwide championships, 5 majors. All of that coming from somebody who grew up in a household that didn't play golf. How did you get into the game?
I guess I sensed something about myself. I was a little bit of a loner as a kid. And although I grew up playing tennis and playing any kind of sport, I gravitated towards this thing that I saw on TV. I was a child watching CBS Golf Classic, Shell's Wonderful World of Golf, and started pushing balls into soup cans in my front yard.
Nice.
So,
I've heard a story about you practicing using a sprinkler head as a tee. Is that, tell us about that.
I used to putt and chip into the sprinkler heads and into soup cans, and so I was definitely what you'd call a homegrown pro.
That's awesome. So all of these achievements in what is traditionally a man's game, what is that like?
There weren't a lot of women golf idols. Although I did admire Babe, Dietrich, and Zaharias, the all-time greats, there really weren't really too many women to look up to. So, I grew up watching, Arnold Palmer and Lee Trevino and whatever, and I can remember my first golf lesson telling my mom I wanted to hit it as far as that big man on the driving range, and I was like the only little girl. So. And
now you're one of the women to look up to. Does that feel real?
Yeah, it's kind of like a snowball that took effect. I think that the key is preparation. I fell in love with something. I gave everything to it. I kind of eat, breathed, and slept it, which is what you got to do to get to the very top. There aren't any shortcuts to success. And then with preparation is one thing and believing in yourself, but you also just got to kind of let it happen, and that's the snowball.
So you were on the early days of the LPGA Tour. How has life on the tour changed, and how has the game of golf changed over the years?
In 1975, when I turned pro, there were no college scholarship opportunities for women. Title IX hadn't taken effect yet. It was offered one college scholarship to go to Dartmouth and play on the men's golf team. And I was a little racehorse. I wanted to go out and play against the best in the world. I held the course record at Pebble Beach. I was the U.S. junior champion and had won all these tournaments all around. I just wanted to even though I was an 18-year-old kid, I wanted to take my stuff out on the tour.
Take us back to the jump in the pond. What was going through your head?
Well, it was such a moment of excitement. I had won the Kraft Nabisco in 1983, and I was kind of feeling my oats, and then I just had this great win in '88. It was just a moment of total exuberance, and I looked at my caddy and I said, "We're going in the water." And it was just, what can I say? It was just a moment of being me being me.
And it started a tradition.
It started a tradition, yeah. And then, of course, Dinah Shore, who was the hostess of the event, was a little jealous and says, "You got to win that tournament one more time." And I did in 1991, right after my mother died. It was like, I don't know, all the stars aligned. I was supposed to win, and I won by a record 9 shots and took Dinah Shore in the water in '91. So it's really started a tradition that I'm proud of.
I was going to ask you, you're part of the design team for the course to be used in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. Tell us a little bit about the process of designing that course, what goes into it, and any hints on what it's going to be like.
We've designed a golf course that I think will be challenging for all levels of players. It's not just for the men and women that are playing in the Olympics, but we're bringing a sport to a country that's so soccer crazy that has one private golf course in the whole city. And so we're designing a golf course that'll be left in perpetuity, that'll be hopefully great for young kids to learn how to play. I'm very involved with the design of the academy, and we hope to have a great challenging course for all the players.
You're involved with the City of Hope. Tell us a little bit about that organization and why you became involved in it.
Well, I used to host an event on the LPGA Tour where City of Hope was the beneficiary. And I think it's a great treatment and research center here in Southern California. They do a lot of wonderful work, and I'm their golf ambassador. Working with a charity is what it's all about, or charities. That's the benefit of being a pro golfer, is that you can do things for other people.
So you seem to be in pretty good health and seem to have avoided a lot of the traditional golf-related injuries. How did you do it?
I've had my share. I've had a herniated disc in my neck and broke my kneecap. Do you really want to know all this stuff?
Well, we have a few minutes.
But, all the years of traveling on planes and all the twisting and turning, I think it's just important to remain active and keep yourself moving. No matter what it is, whether it's 10,000 steps a day, I just try to keep myself as stretched out as I can. I'm one of these people, I haven't gotten into yoga, and I probably should, but I really do. I stretch with a towel. I try to remain as flexible as I can and stretch as much as I can and walk up hills and try to keep my heart pumping.
And fitness these days becoming more and more a part of all of the tours. Unlike what we saw back in the day.
No question. Just upper body work and keeping yourself strong, I think, is important. I think it's kind of been overdone to some extent, but I think that you have to. I think exercise every day is important.
That's great. What advice do you have for women getting into the game now?
What kind of advice? Oh, I think that this is the greatest game in the world, and don't be discouraged once you start it. It's not an easy game. A lot of women take golf up and they find it too complex or too difficult, and it's really, if you find a good teacher, and a good teacher is maybe not the most expensive one or not the cheapest one. Learning how to play is all about having a teacher that can work with you and says the right words. It's all about semantics. So somebody tells you to swing the club, it's really a dance step, and once the women can embrace that the body's moving back and it's moving through, and there's an artistic side of it, and there's a more cerebral side of it, and there's a Zen side of it. It's a great all-round sport, especially as you get older.
How much of it for you is mechanics versus feel versus just instinctually picking up the club and swinging it?
I think most of it has been for me, well, I'd say it's 50-50 on the feel and mechanics side. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'll take that pointer. I'm sure you have some good pointers ready for us at the clinic down on the driving range. Any preview there? Any favorite tips?
No, I'll probably just be telling everybody to get ready for their close-up.
All right. Amy Alcott, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
What a great day with a true legend of women's golf. I'm Ron Caporale for LifeScript.com saying so long from the Toshiba Classic.